Welcome to the G.N.A. podcast, Games, Nerds, and Alcohol, where we get drunk and talk about stuff. And it looks like from the runners that Damok's got going on, it is happening. When did you put up little dividers in your archways? Those are cool.
Oh, we put them up a couple months ago, several months ago at this point. I don't know. They were here last time you were here.
They were?
Yeah, they've been up for several months. They're really nice little blacked out curtains and all of that. They don't go all the way down, so people could still see. But to be honest, it was to hide all the shit that I fucking stash in here because apparently I'm a fucking clutter monster and it has upset everybody else.
Yeah, you are. You're a clutter monster. That's what we call you.
Well, let's be honest, folks. We don't want you getting the wrong image from this. Those aren't arches. They're just like entranceways. They're boxy. They're not arched. So if you were imagining some elegant curves and everything, no, I'm sorry. They're rectangles. That's what they are. I don't know why he called them archways, but as the engineer in this podcast, it's my duty to be specific and correct you on such mundane and unimportant things.
It's good to have you back, Blue.
It's good to be here, bud.
Well, let's get on to the most important stuff, aka what is everybody drinking? I am being lame tonight because we are blitzkrieging the show because I have to go to work like immediately after this show is done. So I am drinking a nice, crisp Canada Dry, zero sugar. Now, I'm going to tell you what the attack is like. Kind of like a tongue punch, the dirt star of a ginger root. Not really sweet, a little bit of an aspartame-y kind of, aftertaste at the end there. But all in all, nice, easy drink, crisp, cold, gaseous. What about you, Damok? What are you drinking?
Well, the girlfriend just ran to the store because she drank my last beer, so I have some Raging Bitch, because who doesn't like some Raging Bitch? I'll have one of these, and we'll have some fun.
Nice! I can see her talking in the background, and she did not look happy.
No, because technically she left the last beer for me to drink, but, I just said she drank the last beer.
Nice. What about you, Blue? What are you drinking, man?
Once again, you're painting false narratives on this show, and I cannot allow you to continue to do this. But thank you for correcting yourself, sir.
Good to have you back, Blue.
I am enjoying a concoction of mine that I created this evening. So congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. You're here live for the unveiling of this brew.
Out of a camping cup.
Out of my very large coffee mug, which, by the way, holds an entire beer.
If you say that you just put vodka in orange juice and came up with something new, I got a surprise for you, bud.
Damn it. No, it's so
it's rum and coke in there, and
No, it's not. No. So it's bullet bourbon. So it's 2.5 measures of that. It's
Wait,
a dash.
Like, is a bottle like a bottle?
So like the shaker glasses that have the how some people just do it the old fashioned way where you just metal cup, ice, and then you just take a glass and you jam it in.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So mine's the one that's got like the sieve on the top and it has a cap you can remove. So that cap, which is a little bit around the size of a shot glass, I guess. So
yeah, okay,
so about,
I see. I'm with you.
So 2 measures of that, a dash of orange bitters, and then half a measure of orange liqueur, shaken with ice.
Shaken, not stirred?
That's correct.
Sean Connery would be proud.
He would. He's my name.
I am.
So the bullet bourbon itself is very smooth. Hardly a bite to it at all. Shake it with ice, and that little bit of water that gets mixed in just makes it even smoother. So that quality stays with this. It's a very strong orange smell to this, and it has a very strong orange taste to it. So it's like it's almost like your vodka and orange juice, except, it's not sugary and such.
Okay, so story time real quick. I was talking to the kid earlier, and you guys remember Slice, the orange soft drink from way back by Pepsi, I think? Okay, so I know, like, you've heard the term home slice, right?
Yeah.
What's up, home slice? Well, back when I was growing up, home slice was actually if you had slice that you poured half of it out, and then you poured half with Jack Daniels, and it's home slice. And all of that, and we were drinking that, and it's fucking good. But basically, you just did what we did as teenagers, and we would jump on BART, Bay Area Rapid Transit, California. We'd go up to the city in San Francisco, just walk around, and we'd drink a 20-ounce fucking full, half of, shitty Jack Daniels and half slice, man. It was good times. But you have some orange bitters, same.
Yeah, that's, I don't do soda as much anymore.
No, dude, I was like 15.
I'm interested to try this. I don't know how bad this is going to be. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, like that. Damok's got one of the shaker glasses.
You're talking about that whole top? You use that whole top as a measure?
No, the little cap.
Oh, the little cap. I thought you were talking about the whole top. I'm like, dude, that's a lot.
No.
Say, that's what I used to measure out. I didn't know that anyone else was that ball.
No, it's the little cap. Yeah.
I'm tracking. Alrighty. Well, next topic we got to go into, of course, State of Games. State of Games is where we talk about what we've been playing for the last week, or we just pontificate on how we feel gaming is in general today. So, there's a little jigger.
So it's probably the larger end of the jigger, probably about the full amount of the jigger.
So the larger jigger is 1.5 ounces, and then the smaller one is 0.75 ounces.
Yeah, it's a shot, half shot.
Yeah. It comes with the little shaker and all that. It's pretty nice.
It probably would be about 1.5 ounces. But you were saying something, Cecil?
Well, 1.5 ounces is technically a shot.
Tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, I will go out and measure this again and get back to you to give you more definitive results. And to quote my favorite press secretary, we're just going to circle back to that later.
Yeah, we're going to need a full report in triplicate on my desk by end of business. State of Games. So, Blue Shark, what is your State of Games, man?
So I actually got gaming in this week. Surprise, surprise. This is a little annoying. Little rant it's going to take 5 seconds, but it's taking a little bit longer to explain the fact that it's only going to take 5 seconds. Xbox automatic updates aren't working. So I finally got Division 2 to finish its update and hopped in with Bud. New season, new storyline. Didn't really care to pay much attention to it. Just like, let's hang out with my bud. Haven't talked to him in like a long time, and let's shoot some shit. So went into the division. We did matchmaking with some randos and did some heroic level, or was it challenging? No, we did heroic level. Heroic level missions. I'm low level. The rest of the guys are like, this is like the second or third season of what is it, Warlords of New York or something like that. And everyone's just so much stronger than I am. But I managed to stay alive. And 2 different groups of randos, so 4 people total different people that we played with that evening. Worked out great. The second group wasn't as good as the first because the second group was composed of one guy who just ran in. It was like, Leroy, drink it. But I'd have to say the matchmaking was on point.
That's awesome. I haven't played Division 2 since probably since Shadow left the Discord. I say left the Discord. He's still in the Discord. He just never talks in the Discord.
Yeah,
I think he uninstalled it.
I'm pretty sure he must have.
Yeah, he's like married and stuff, and like spends time with his wife and his cats and his cameras, blowing fat clouds, living a better life while we're stuck here in hell.
Recording a podcast over and over and over.
I could make some reference to Clockwork Orange, but I've never read the book.
What? No, get off the fucking podcast. Get the fuck off.
So the fact that I haven't watched Firefly isn't going to kick me off the show. The fact that I mentioned that I haven't read a Clockwork Orange is going to get me kicked off.
That's required reading. Required reading.
It was good to have you back, and we'll miss you.
All right, folks. I tell you where you can find me, but they don't really care to keep that in. Peace.
Actually, what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to take that whole little bit he did about the Division 2 and speed it up so it actually takes 5 seconds of real time to listen to. leave the explanation at the 30 seconds it was, but take that and just compress it down and be like 5 seconds. Be fantastic.
Make me sound like a chipmunk.
Oh, you just sound like... Dude, you would sound like the squirrel off a Hoodwinked after he snorted coffee. What about you, Damok? What's your state of games there, guy?
I've been playing because it came up with a big sale. I've been looking at it, but I picked up Warhammer 40k, Inquisitor Martyr, and Prophecy. It's a Diablo-style game that I haven't quite figured out yet, but the story's really cool, and if you don't know me, I fucking love Warhammer 40k, especially the Inquisitors that have absolute authority. Because I'm very authoritarian, whatever.
You want people to respect your authority.
Yes, pretty much, like Cartman. But I mean, like, I watch Star Wars because I love the Empire. I fucking hate the Jedi and the Rebels. I legitimately hate them and want them to lose so bad. But the Empire is just amazing.
So you shed a tear when the Death Star got blown up instead of cheering.
Dude, the billions of people that were on that fucking Death Star, yeah, the rebels are that's a war crime. They need to be hung for it.
Well, see,
amen.
The first Death Star, our first Death Star, I'm not so concerned about because those were all enlisted people. But the second Death Star, that still had a whole bunch of construction people on it. You know, people had families. They weren't there. They're just collecting a paycheck.
Yeah, what about all the Union members that got on?
Exactly.
You know, they got killed on there.
There was the 401s down there, man. Come on. I knew those guys.
No, I picked up Cyanide Freakopolis.
Me too.
Yeah, I played about 10 minutes of it because I was like pretty interested in playing it with controller. It is not very controller friendly, sadly. Or did you try it with controller, Cecil?
I haven't played it. I did exactly what I said. I bought it and I haven't even installed it yet.
It's very much a point and click with the mouse adventure type game. So yes, I could use the D-pad, not the D-pad, the fucking Joy-Con type thing, whatever the analog stick. Yeah, I could use one of them to move the mouse thing around the screen, and then I can move my character with the other one, and that was kind of cool, but it was just so much easier to switch over and fucking use my keyboard and mouse and click on shit.
Agreed. Yeah, those point and click adventures, like that game you picked me up, there is no game here. They're much easier. Like, you can use an analog stick. Like, they used to have those back on, like, Sega CD and stuff like that. And actually, they used to, even the Super Nintendo, I think, had one. I think it was Clockwork, an old Clockwork game. Or Clock Tower, not Clockwork. And they were such a pain in the ass to move the cursor around the screen as slow as dog shit to get it over there.
Yeah, you know, as much as it would be a pain in the ass to do everything and recalibrate it, that game would probably be pretty decent with a Steam controller.
I was just thinking that. I literally was just about to say, hey, it'd probably work with a Steam controller then, but I didn't.
See, great minds, we think alike. We touch tips.
You have seen my penis.
And I got the okay to go ahead and full-on kiss you on the lips once we both have our vaccines.
I'm coming up, coming up here shortly. All right, my state of games. I actually found some time to play some games myself. I actually reinstalled Windows on my entire machine, did a full wipe and reinstall, so I've been trying to get everything back to where it was, which is a huge pain in the ass. But I have been playing a few games. I jumped into Doom, the 2016 Doom, because I was listening to the soundtrack, and goddamn, I love that soundtrack. That soundtrack is just, God, it just hits so hard in so many right places when you're just, you're working out or you're driving aggressively or, you're being chased by a giant bear. Anything, it really just hits really great.
Grocery shopping?
Oh yeah, dude, listen to the Doom soundtrack while you're grocery shopping. Oh man. You go up there, all of a sudden you start having flashbacks of the game. You're punching Granny in the face, tearing some little kid's head off. You're like, oh shit, I'm going to jail.
Picking up the kids from daycare.
Now that you do that, if you watch the fucking Doom Slayer with Animal Crossing shit and they use the Doom 2016 soundtrack and they've crossed in the Doom guy with the Animal Crossing guys, and it's all cute.
Oh God, no! I have to though.
Oh, you're fucked.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you're fucked.
I guess I'm
Watch
not
those
working
videos.
I also was playing RimWorld because, fuck you, Damok. Evoland I jumped into for a bit. That game's really quirky and fun. And probably my latest addiction, which I am actually mildly angry at because it's probably going to take up the rest of my life, Whack-Fu. If you liked Final Fantasy Tactics, you will love Whack-Fu. It's a massively multiplayer tactics game. It's turn-based too, which it's just, it hits all the right little spots that I really want right now. So if I actually do fall into the deep abyss of gaming again, it's more likely going to be that.
See, I keep seeing everybody talk about it, and now you're playing it along with, God's playing it, Moon's playing it. And I was like, okay, I haven't even looked at it yet. I didn't play Final Fantasy Tactics, though, so worth taking a look at. I know it's free to play, so is it actually worth installing or not?
I say yes, but if you're not used to the style of gameplay, like if you don't like turn-based RPG games, you're not going to like this. If you don't like the squared tactics style games where you've got so many actions you can do in a square, you're not going to like this game. So if those things turn you off, don't download it, don't play it. I downloaded it just kind of on a whim because I saw that I saw God, Moon, and Ko were all playing it. Actually, Ko told them all about it, and then they just jumped right on. I'm like, well, what's this game about? Let me check it out. Because Ko's rarely wrong about a game. Like, if he says it's good, it usually is pretty good. So I jumped on, I loaded it up, and as soon as I loaded it up, I could choose to be a panda. Granted, it's an anime panda, but I still got to be a panda. So now I'm a panda. It's really
I'm worried about you, but okay.
You should be. There's like so many different, like, you can go into, like, if your profession that you want to go into, if you want to go into weaponsmithing or armor smithing, or you want to go into lumberjacking, like there's so many different veins that you can go into and just kind of get your niche. And then, like if you're a weaponsmith, you need a lumberjack because you need wood to make the handles for your weapons. You need a miner to get minerals for your weapon. So it's kind of one of those, there's a lot to it. There's a lot of little things, and it's one of those I don't think you can, simple to play, hard to master. Because there's not, like, the little mini games they have in there are pretty fun. They're not difficult, like, they're in concept, but I'm assuming to master them and really maximize your stuff out of them, there's going to be some learning curve. In my opinion, worth a download.
Okay, maybe I'll go check it out.
Yeah, and it's really not that big. I think it's like a 1.5 gig game. Like, it's not big at all. Like, there's the initial download for the launcher, and then you load up the launcher, sign in, and it's like 1.5 or 1.6. Well, I'm getting the eyeballs from Blue saying, hey, we got a topic to get to, and you're going on and on about some game I'm never going to touch.
Well, look, you did Blitzkrieg. It was your mention in the beginning of this podcast, and you've lost the momentum.
Yeah, but the thing is, I'm going to take your 5-minute thing about Division 2 and suck it right down to 5 seconds. So.
Oh, you're so hyperbolic. Nice watch, Damok.
Very nice. All right, so.
I'm proud of it. Haven't watched it. Haven't won it.
Yesterday, we all got together and we watched a movie. And we watched this movie because coming up in a few weeks, there's going to be another movie coming out. And we're going to watch that movie, and then we're going to review that movie. But
oh, get over here.
I love you, Blue. At least you didn't say get down here. That was horrid.
Yes. That was.
If you're listening and you know what we're talking about the original 1995 Mortal Kombat movie.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I know, but dude, okay. Before we go into how bad it was, let's just point out that for a B-rate movie, it was fantastic.
Well, if you're going to set the bar that low, sure.
A blockbuster movie, I cannot believe that this movie made so much money.
It made that much money because Mortal Kombat was tied to it.
Well, I mean, yeah. And in its defense, for a video game adaptation movie, it's not that bad. Like, it's not House of the Dead. It's not Blood Rain. It's not In the Name of the King.
I don't know. Some of the Resident Evil movies were a little bit better.
Oh, yeah. I'm not saying that it's the best, but I'm saying it wasn't directed by Uwe Boll.
Yeah, absolutely. House of the Dead, fuck, no. The movie's bad. The games are great. The movie's bad. It's it should have been a late 80s movie and it would have been okay. But because it's a mid 90s movie, I mean,
okay, so
it's still...
No. It was so good that they made the movie in the 90s to be like it was in the 80s.
Yeah, that was an effect. That was a feature.
That flashlight, though.
Oh my God, on that shotgun, because it was as big as a barrel.
It's as long as a darn gun.
But nobody had any issue with her and her buddy running through a rave where people are dancing and they have shotguns and machine guns and they're just punching people out of the way and everybody's still dancing like, oh, shit's just happening. It's going. It's fine. It's going on.
Dude, it was the 90s. It's okay. We didn't have all the crazy shootings like we do now, man. It was fine.
Dude,
people can run through a crowd with guns and they were like, nah, man, it's cool. Keep going. You sure say, excuse me, though. Whatever. Fuck you. I'm going to keep dancing.
Yeah, exactly. You should have said, excuse me. I'm messing with you. It's all good. It's all good. No, so like, dude, opening scene, that fight with Shang Tsung and what was his name? It wasn't Chow. Chow was Liu Kang's brother in the video game. What the hell was its name in the movie, though?
I thought it was Chow, yeah.
No,
yeah.
It wasn't Chow. Not in the movie. Because I even wrote down here, I was like, brother's name wasn't Chow. Like, but I didn't write down what the hell his brother's name was.
In the movie, they changed his brother's name?
Yeah. I'm 99% sure they changed his name in the movie because when I looked it up, when I was watching it, I went, hey, wait a minute. Wasn't Liu Kang's brother something else? And I went, what was Liu Kang's brother's name? And I Googled Liu Kang's brother's name and it came up Chow.
Chan. It's Chan.
Yes.
Chan Kang.
But his name in the game is Chow because I double checked that.
Okay, yeah, no, it's
why?
Chan Kang.
Well, because when he said it, I'm like, why the hell? I'm like, that's not his name. It's not Chang. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Is this? What is he? Pocket change? What the hell is this?
Yeah, why the fuck would they change that?
I don't know. It seems like a really stupid change to make.
And the other thing that annoyed me about, we're not getting into the negatives. We're getting into the positives, right?
Yeah, like how positively perfect that CGI was the entire film.
I mean, the CGI was better than the CGI of the 80s.
It was. But that CGI in that opening scene, like I had to Google it quick because I was like, there's no way that the CGI was that bad. That opening scene was actually filmed, that whole fight between Shang Tsung and Chang was done in broad daylight, in bright sunshine day, and they edited out the background and put in those thunderclouds. And I'm like, this is so hard. That's like the worst green screen ever. It turns out it wasn't a green screen. It was clouds and sunshine.
Wow. I mean, that's a little more impressive than having a crappy green screen in the background, but...
Impressive is kind of the wrong term to use there.
I mean, think about it. Like, it's a bright, sunny day, and they turn it into that. A bright, sunny day. I mean, that took time.
Should have took more time.
Yeah, maybe. But, I mean, they had to hire, what's his face? The guy who played Raiden.
Oh, Christopher Lambert.
Lambert. Isn't he called Raiden?
Raiden. It's just whoever.
Raiden.
Raiden. It's Lord Raiden. They make sure to say Lord Raiden.
Sorry.
Which, ironically,
Your Excellency.
Well,
I didn't mean.
You're the one correcting everybody here. That's not an archway. It's a square.
Raiden is actually a
engineering terms, structural features versus video game knowledge.
It sounds like a double standard to me.
Am I on the wrong podcast again?
So no, Christopher Lambert, which when I first saw it way back in the day, and I saw Christopher Lambert as Raiden, I went, but I gotta say, he brought a lovely sense of comedy to that character. Because Raiden is always so frigging serious.
Yeah, but he didn't fight, which I wasn't a fan of.
What are you talking about, dude?
He did technically fight Scorpion and Sub-Zero.
Ooh.
Yeah, technically he went in there and said, fuck y'all, with some lightning bolts, and that was it.
Yeah, and the lightning bolts looked identical to the plasma torch things that the Ghostbusters had, the proton packs. Like that stuff coming out, I'm like, oh shit, the Ghostbusters are there? I'm like, oh god, the proton packs, oh, they're ghosts, that's why it works. And then all of a sudden it was Raiden.
Hey, don't fuck with Raiden, man. Like, he's got it in with Thor. He's doing good. Thor granted him special types of lightning so that he can do his own series of shit. And he may have, killed the Ghostbusters. It's okay.
But what if Raiden is Thor?
No. He didn't kill the Ghostbusters. Modern politics killed the Ghostbusters.
Could be.
I don't know, dude. I still call the number whenever I see that weird Banshee Queen down the hallway. Oh, fuck.
So the one thing I want to say that I thought they really captured on, because like, of course, this movie's about Liu Kang. The games are about Liu Kang. This movie's about Liu Kang. I just thought that it was really interesting how at the beginning of the movie they really portrayed Liu Kang's youth, like in the way he talked. The things he did, like dumping Johnny Cage's stuff off into the water, just a very like arrogant, youthful thing. And then by the end of the movie, he had turned, you can see his character development through the movie. Granted, it's a bad movie, so you're really not seeing all that much. But I want to point out that they did actually show character development for Liu Kang across the movie. Johnny Cage, they were trying to, but nah.
What a fucking waste of a character, too. Johnny Cage was useless in the movie. I think we talked about it briefly last night. I'm glad that Van Damme didn't take that part.
Yeah. So Van Damme was on the board to do Johnny Cage, but he didn't do Johnny Cage because he went to go do Street Fighter.
Johnny Cage was useful in the movie. He portrayed Johnny Cage accurately because in the game, Johnny Cage is useless. Thank you very much.
You're not wrong. You are so not wrong.
Right?
What did you guys think of the classic suits for Sub-Zero and Scorpion, though?
Huge fan. I like the classic suits.
Yeah.
Legitimately, I think they're great.
They were fine. I didn't really have any problem. The only thing I had a problem with was Scorpion's little dragon creature thingy that came out of his hand that's not supposed to be a living, breathing creature.
His katai?
Yeah.
I think that's how you say it. I could be wrong. It's like,
I don't know. I that was the only issue that I had with him. That and I was kind of disappointed. I mean, yeah, Liu Kang, big thing. As a kid, maybe I was too young and naive, and I just didn't get it right. But to me, it was Sub-Zero and Scorpion. That's what Mortal Kombat was.
Yeah,
like,
they mentioned that in the movie.
That was the main thing. So, like, the fact that they felt minor. They felt like minor characters.
But they explained that in the movie.
Yeah.
Yes, because they're slaves to him.
Yeah, which that was a definite contrast to the video games. Those two were always at each other's throat, and that they made them slaves of Shang Tsung. But I guess if you think about it, it would be really hard to get them into the movie any other way, because you'd have to give them both some sort of backstory versus just throwing them in there and saying, "I control them."
That's true.
A kunai is what Scorpion's weapon is. A kunai.
Yeah, that was a living, breathing kunai, though.
Yeah, it was like some weird dragon face on it, and it was fucking...
Yeah, and the princess,
Katana?
Katana, like, I'm sorry, but doesn't she wear a mask normally?
She does.
And when she takes off the mask, she does not look like that. The whole purpose is the beauty of her eyes and everything outside of the mask. No? I thought she was a demon.
You're thinking of Mylena. So there was Katana and Mylena. And Mylena was a clone of Katana. And she had the face of Baraka.
And then she was like some sort of a demon underneath her mask.
I think they were like Takai warriors, or what they're called.
Okay.
Or Taken, something like that.
Yeah. Man, I just remember that was the game that I got to play at the one friend's house whose parents were like divorced, and like whatever, mom let her get away with stuff. Like that was the house where I got to play mature games.
Yep.
And then I remember playing Mortal Kombat on the 64. Like, I remember in the arcade as well, but I remember a lot more time on the 64.
Do you remember, and this is going back, and let's see if anybody remembers it without looking it up. Do you remember the Genesis Blood Code?
Nope.
No, I know that there was, and I know it was a big deal at the time, and I remember doing it at my neighbor's house because his older brother knew it, but I don't know it
All right,
now.
look me up, but I'm pretty confident it's ABACABB.
I'm going to let Blue look it up.
I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
Mr. Engineer has to make sure that you are hitting the right buttons in the right order and that those are circular buttons, but they are circular buttons with slight 22-degree indentations that only slope for, 4%.
Oh, okay. Let's face the fact. I'm watching YouTube videos about Mortal Kombat 11 launch trailers. All right. Yeah. Say that again. What's the code?
ABACABB.
Yep, you're right.
God damn, still remember that to this day. That and the Konami code. I'll never forget that damn one either.
Deftones made a song.
That's down, left, 24972, right?
Yep. With you got to throw a niner in there. Nailed it. Perfect. That's like literally that's how you can tell the real nerds, because as soon as you say the Konami code wrong, you'll see their eyes start to twitch because they know that you're doing it on purpose and that you're waiting for them to correct you. And then you know the super nerds, because they will jump right out. They won't even let you finish. They'll correct you before you're done.
That was so iconic. It was that made it into Ready Player One, the book.
Yeah, that made it. Oh, there's a whole bunch of things that made it into the book that the movie left out. The movie was okay. The movie was good. But
read the book, kids.
The book was way better.
Read the book.
Movie was fucking awful. I don't give a shit.
Have you read Ready Player 2 yet?
I've heard it's a woke rehash.
It's not
just
as good.
Horrible copy. It's like someone copied paste and then added some woke ideology to it, and it just destroyed the entire thing.
The biggest thing for me is that they tried the references. It felt like they were forcing them in versus they were just there. It just really, there was a lot of them that felt just really forced.
I mean,
it was forced, period, because the first book did so well that the movie came out and everybody's like, oh my God, I read the book. This is going to be fucking great. And sorry, the movie sucked. Don't give a fuck. It missed everything. It missed the mark on 90% of it. And I love the books, right? I've read the book from cover to cover. I've actually sat down and read it, and I've listened to the audiobook in 3 different variations, including the Star Trek kid. God damn it.
Whedon.
Yeah.
Will Wheaton.
Will Wheaton. I was thinking Josh Wheaton for some stupid reason.
That's how I listened to it too.
Yeah, but I've heard it in 2 variations and also with Will Wheaton. And yeah, the movie was trash, but it was super fucking popular. And of course they were going to make a second book. I haven't read it though. Everybody that I talked to that liked the first one fucking hated the second book.
Yeah, honestly, skip it. Really, you're not missing anything. Leave the first book in your memory and let it die that way in your memory.
I'm going to say something that's probably controversial, but Sword Art Online was really good in the beginning. It was awesome. Once they got out, wasn't as good.
Well, that's like the Maze Runners.
It didn't grip as much. So, like, they solved the great mystery in Ready Player One. There was the great mystery. It was like Sword Art Online, the great mystery of how to get out of the game, how to beat the game so that we can get out of this place. And then there's Ready Player One, the great mystery that everyone's been hunting for all of this time. Hype. They solved it. And then they do the sequel, and it's just like, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they could have picked 90s themed stuff instead of 80s themed stuff.
Okay,
sure.
So 90s themed stuff, if you want to go with it. Ever read Snow Crash?
No.
It's going to have a touch more on the religion side. So as long as you're okay with Christianity and being a part of it and all that wonderful stuff, it's got a lot of touching on the religious aspects, but that one's really good and definitely has an Oasis type deal to it as well.
Interesting.
Okay.
Well, let's kick back over to Mortal Kombat here, because I took like 19 pages of notes.
Of course you did. The rest of us were watching it, and I don't want to be mean here, but I saw mostly it looked like I was watching. Was Photoshop effect where you can do that mosaic tiles. We really got to get you a better internet connection, buddy.
Well, I got like 12 megs up.
See, I thought that was my problem because I was watching it on my tablet in the kitchen.
You said something.
Actually, I was going to rewatch it myself today, but after suffering through it last night, I'm just going to do it.
You fucker.
I chalked it up to either you found a free version or it was just a crappy, it was just it is what it is. Discord is downgrading it because you don't have a Nitro, so you can only stream in certain whatever.
He does have Nitro.
Oh, well, then, yeah. I will say this. I had that thing cranked up on my headphones, and then one of you two freaking idiots would talk, and I just go, ah!
I will say, the audio was a little low, and I was like, okay, I'm going to lower Cecil.
And then I come in upstairs after I finish all my stuff, and I turn it on the computer, and it's like Cecil and Damok, and I immediately turn you down, and then I go over to the screen and here's a volume slider. I was like, I wonder what that does. Oh my god, if I turn this up, I can actually hear the movie. But anyway, moving on to technical difficulties, or moving on from technical difficulties.
Screw you guys, I'm going home.
Okay, so you mentioned the Sub-Zero and the Scorpion, and they did their classic suits, which, they're iconic characters. I understand they kind of fucked up their storylines a little bit but they got them in there and they looked iconic. I liked the iconic look. What did you guys think about the change that they did to Reptile and his uniform?
So his uniform was everything but his mask was identical to Sub-Zero and Scorpion's, weren't they?
Right, and that's how he always was, but his mask was always the same as theirs. He was just green.
Correct.
But they changed his mask in the movie.
Because his mask was supposed to be the little dead body that he crawled into and came out of, so that was his mask. I think I'm okay with it.
No, the dead body, he went into the chest cavity of the dead body, not into the mask area. They left the mask so that he could still do an acid spit thing. Remember? Because in the very beginning, when he runs into Liu Kang and he spits him in the face and all of that, and they did not use a lot of Reptile's ability, which was the acid spit deal. But they showcased it when he would fall flat on his chest and then he'd be breathing, and they did the extra effects to make the acid spit and all of that, but they never really used it when he was fighting.
I was kind of okay with it because I always thought he was supposed to just be a color copy with different effects of Scorpion and Sub-Zero.
He was changed in later games, but originally he was just a green version of Scorpion and Sub-Zero, and he had acid instead of fire and ice.
That's what, you took Sub-Zero and they're like, hey, let's make a different let's make a different character who does the exact same moves. Here you go. Here's Sub-Zero. And here you go. Here's Reptile. That's all he was. So I was like, really didn't care.
So I just posted a recording chat. If you take a look, his mask mimics the mask of the dead body that he jumped into, the mouthpiece.
Yeah, it does.
Right, but he doesn't jump into the mouth. He jumps into the chest.
Yeah, but then the whole dead body turns into Reptile.
Correct, but that dead body's not wearing any fucking clothes, so we would have had a naked Reptile fighting Liu Kang.
And let's just face it, folks. If you're dead because your emperor's was conquered, your empire was conquered by some non-benevolent creature that's pretty much demonic, you're going to die, and then you're going to just get possessed by these demonic creatures.
You keep saying demonic. It sounds like you're really down on demons.
Aren't you?
It's kind of judgmental.
So look at the still.
Says the guy who slays them as the Doom Slayer.
Right.
Rip and tear until it is done.
It's a new conversation for that, but the expansion looks really fucking good, by the way.
So I'm looking at the still. What am I looking at?
Okay, so look in the very center of the still where he's supposed to be able to spit acid.
Okay.
Right?
All right, I see that.
And so they kept it there, and I was like, I was okay with it. I liked what they did, but I'm looking at the still, and then I'm looking at the body that he jumped into. That's a totally different fucking face thing, and he crawled into the chest, not the mouth. So when his mask suddenly formed, and plus, I mean, we're talking about a naked dead body demon type thing that was on the ground, all of a sudden he's got all of his clothes on, he's in his iconic uniform, he just has an interesting looking mask, which looks from the still, hey, he's going to spit acid again, and yet the only time he does that is when he gets the shit kicked out of him. He doesn't actually use it like he did in the game.
Yeah,
I'm okay with it.
It does like this whole breathing thing of like,
yeah, and I was like, I was okay with it. I just thought it was interesting that I was wondering if Cecil caught it or not because he has 19 pages of notes.
Well, I did. So I didn't catch that little bit that it looked like he could spit acid. It looked to me like when he climbed into the body, because when he got up, the whole body then shifted and turned into reptile. So I honestly just put the two and two together that it was the face of whatever that body thing was. But I could see that being the spitting acid part pretty easily, actually.
Yeah, I mean, that was supposed to be his iconic mask thing, and maybe I'd have to go back and actually look at, like, the original. I know he was a hidden character in Mortal Kombat 2, but he was playable in Mortal Kombat 3.
So, no, in Mortal Kombat, yeah, I think it was the original Mortal Kombat, wasn't he? Oh, no, it was Mortal Kombat. No, it wasn't the original Mortal Kombat.
Because, no, it hadn't been Mortal Kombat 2 that he was in, but he may have been hinted at, because I know that he was a secret, because he was the, oh, fuck. No, okay, here we go. This is going to show my age. Remember on the arcade machines, when you were playing, and you could get that little toasty on Mortal Kombat 2 and stuff like that, but there was a way to switch that, and it would be Reptile to come out, and then you could punch in something, and then Reptile became a playable character.
You hit the start button, and you're right, that was Mortal Kombat 2. You're absolutely right. You hit the start button as soon as you saw that toasty, and then you'd be playing inside the pit, and you'd see all the dead bodies there with like a head stuck on spikes and stuff. Okay, I'm tracking. Did you guys know that the person who played Sonya Blade actually didn't technically get the part until like, I think it was like the day of shooting? So she was on board, and then they went to somebody else. They were going to like use Cameron Diaz or somebody like that. They had other people that they were going to use.
Better choice.
True, but I think the one who played Sonya Blade was okay.
No. The one who played Sonya Blade, better choice.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm sorry, but Cameron Diaz at that time, no.
No, man. Any girl who wipes cum in her hair, I'm okay with.
No, that's the thing. Like, she's too like comedic. She's too airy. She doesn't have that character quality. Kind of like. The guy who played the demon in Legend, what's his name? He played the butler and
Tim Curry.
Yeah, like Tim Curry can only play like certain characters. Like it's like one of the
or a giant demon or a murdering butler. Yeah, only like that type of character.
Yeah, like I mean, like it's like trying to like get someone to play the villain. When they normally just play the good guy, or get someone who always plays the villain to play the good guy. It's like Cameron Diaz wouldn't have worked. No.
I want to bring up these little tidbits of knowledge that while we were watching and I was researching, because I'm like, oh, I wonder about this. So Christopher Lambert was obviously the highest paid actor on the movie. Like, he was the highest paid. In fact, he was so high paid they could only afford him for 2 weeks of shooting in the LA studio. That was it. They could only afford him for 2 weeks for close-up shots. Which, by the way, I really thought, like, for the time, the set quality, like, how they did, like, the way the set looked, I thought it was actually pretty good. Like, the physical attributes, they didn't CG everything. I don't know. I thought it was pretty good.
No, yeah, we discussed that.
But Christopher Lambert, being, like, he was, like, of course, the vet on the movie, because everybody else who was on the movie, if you didn't realize, a majority of them hadn't done a lot of movies. In fact, I think Liu Kang was a really great stunt double, but he was doing a whole bunch of stunt work versus being an actual actor in the movie. But Christopher Lambert, he not only was there for, his 2 weeks and thing, but when they went to Thailand to shoot on location, so the place they went in Thailand, they actually could only access via boat, and they had them on these longboats. So all the crew, cast, crew, equipment, everything were trucked in on these boats. Christopher Lambert actually went there and on his own dime went there to do some of the shots and be with the cast and crew, and was like, I don't know whether you'd call him like the mentor or the father figure or what, but he brought his experience there and kept everybody else cool and calm. And I mean, if you've ever seen Christopher Lambert on behind the scenes stuff, like also laughing because that's just who the guy is. But the guy is just like, the more I read about what he did on the film, like what he did for that film, just makes me love the guy even more.
Oh yeah. No, I mean, we talked about it, and I had no idea that he did. He said he threw the big after party for him and paid for it, and was like, that's cool as shit, man. I do have to agree completely on the sets. Like, even for the mid-90s, the set design was really good. We kind of laughed, well, at least I was laughing and pointing out that the spikes towards the end are coming out of foil and all of that. But the rest of it, I thought the sets were really, really good. The story was poor. The acting was okay. They tried. Some of them tried. I think what they were given to say was shit. And they, so the writing was shit overall. But the actors tried, at least, to a certain extent.
So
they had their moments. And the limited space that they had on game cartridges, and then yeah, that's right, game cartridges, because it started on a console before it started in the arcades, right?
Reverse, started in the arcade before it was on the console.
Okay, so given the fact that this thing started in an arcade, I'd have to say that they did not have a lot of story material to work with.
Accurate.
So
I didn't know that there was a story in the arcade games until I think Mortal Kombat 3.
Yeah, like so they fleshed out something decent.
They did
out of this, and yes, the writing could have been better, and the acting could have been a little bit better at times, but the acting wasn't horrible. It was definitely a kung fu movie because it was like muscles and unnecessary movements.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But it was a kung fu movie. So what do you expect?
The character who played Sonya Blade, I think her name is Bridget Wilson. That's what I got written down here. Hopefully I got it right. Bridget Wilson. She demanded to do her own stunts. And even to the point of she got hurt in doing one of the scenes and dislocated her shoulder doing the stunts. They were able to fix her up and all that jazz, but like that just shows the dedication of some of these actors.
It was Bridget Wilson, who's also in Billy Madison in 1995. She was also in The Wedding Planner, so she played, I guess...
And Last Action Hero.
Yeah, so in 1993, Love Stinks. Yeah.
Yep.
I think she did a pretty good job.
So you guys remember at the beginning when Shang Tsung goes to visit Johnny Cage, and as Johnny Cage is coming off set, there's a guy, the director, in the chair up high, and I said, was that Spielberg? Remember when I said that?
Was it Spielberg?
Okay, so it wasn't Spielberg, but it was supposed to be Spielberg. So Spielberg was actually supposed to be there and do a cameo because Spielberg loved the Mortal Kombat series, but he couldn't actually make it. So they made that guy up there look like Spielberg. I just thought that was a funny little, it was like a half cameo, I guess.
Hey, it's a little hidden feature, man, because you immediately said, oh my God, was that Spielberg? Did they just show Spielberg? Was that like, and we're like, I don't know. And yeah. Okay. So, hey, they got you.
They did. They got me because I honestly thought it was Spielberg. I had to look it up and be like, was that Spielberg? Because that was pretty cool if it was.
Oh my God. Random fact. I'm looking up Bridget Wilson's filmography. And
that's what you're looking up.
One of the things came up is 1995, Nixon, the film. Would you like to take a guess at who played Nixon in the 1999 film titled Nixon?
Johnny Depp?
Nope.
Nixon?
Nope. Anthony Hopkins. And all I can think of is Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah, eating brains in the White House. Well, we are rounded out on time, and I had so many more notes. Well, here, the last thing I want to say before we round this thing out is the director. He denied coming back to do the sequel, which is good for him because Annihilation sucked. Maybe it would have been better if he did it, but Annihilation sucked. Do you know what movie he did right after Mortal Kombat? The reason he turned down the sequel?
Nope.
one of probably, if not my favorite horror movie, sci-fi horror movie, Event Horizon.
Really?
Really?
Remember the spin that Reptile did? And I said, pay attention to that spin, because this director went and did Event Horizon right after this. And there was that spin that the kid did as he's going out of the airlock. And I'm like, that is like the identical spin that Reptile did. Like, must have used the same harness and everything.
Very nice. And yeah, I'm glad that he didn't do Mortal Kombat 2 and went to Event Horizon, because I really enjoy Event Horizon.
Yeah. Well, so the new Mortal Kombat is going to be coming out, April 16th? April 18th?
Correct. On Friday the 16th.
All right. So I'm actually going to be away that weekend, but we'll have to watch it that week and then get ready to do another review, and we'll compare it to the original.
Yeah.
No, I actually have to watch the original so I can see it this time, not watch it in that fucking...
Should have fucking told me, man. God damn. I even said, is it playing okay? You can see it? Yeah, it's great. Okay, good.
Dude, during the still scenes, or not still, but when it was just like focused on one person's face, it was crystal fucking clear and looked really good. As soon as there was movement, I was like, oh, that's what that mosaic fucking filter does on Photoshop.
Well, Damok, where can people find you at?
I exclusively troll the G.N.A. Discord.
Nice. What about you, Blue? Where can people find you at?
You can find me on Parler. You can find me on Minds. You can find me on Twitch, all at BlueShark45. And you can also find me in the G.N.A. Discord as BlueShark45. And if I find time, if I have the energy, and if I have the drive to play the things that make us all nerds, called video games, you can hit me up in the G.N.A. Discord, and we can play on other things such as Xbox, PC, and the Switch.
Nice. I'm Cecil Xavier, your host. You can find me on Cecil vs. Games on Twitter, Cecil Xavier everywhere else, sometimes with underscore, sometimes without. Facebook, Steam, Parler, Ustream, Grindr, Tinder, Humble Bundle, Bumble Bundle. I'm fucking everywhere. I'm on Discords. I'm in all sorts of Discords. If I'm not there, send me an invite. I'll go to that Discord too, because I like to talk. Well, we hope you enjoyed the show. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe on your favorite podcast app. Reviews help people find the show, so if you enjoy listening to us, let other people know. You can find us on Google Play Music, Podcast Addicts, Spreaker, Player FM, iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio. I think you can even find us on radio.com. If we're not someplace, let us know. We'll go there and upload as well. We had a whole bunch of shit that we do, but we're still not doing it because pandemics suck. And I think we have a website still. Let me check.
www. Show up on the goddamn G.N.A. Discord quickly, because I have a 500 gig NVMe M.2 drive that I am trying to give away. I don't give a fuck who you are. Just show up and be like, hey, Damok, you suck. Fuck you. And I'll give you a goddamn 500 gig M.2 drive. Let's do this. .com.
Or GNApodcast.com.
Yeah, or GNApodcast.com. But I'm dead serious, dude. I have a 500 gig NVMe M.2. Join the goddamn podcast and say, Damok, fuck you. It's yours.
Well, gentlemen, thank you for joining in. I've got to go to work, though, so have a great night.
You too.
Take care, brother.
And then we can also insert the stinger right here talking about Humble Bundle. We're still sponsored by Humble Bundle, which you can add partner, partner equals G.N.A. podcast to any Humble Bundle link to show them that we sent you their way, and you can help support the G.N.A. podcast by sliding that bar all the way to zero and giving all the money to charity, because that's really what we want you to do.
Love you, Blue.
Give it to
You're
you.
welcome.